Holy. Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the OOT YouTube channel. How is everyone doing? Basically, in today's video, I'm going to be covering the core movement mechanics I think every movement player should know. I'm going to be breaking it down as simple as I possibly can for you to understand, showing in-game examples as well as how to implement them in your playstyle. But real quick, I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. I have over 4,000 hours in Apex Legends, and I have pretty much dedicated that entirety amount of time to learning movement. I personally believe I've achieved the movement playstyle in Apex, and I have a very good understanding of how movement works in this game. But yeah, I don't want to waste too much of you guys' time. Let's just get on to the video. Alright, so the first tech that we're going to be learning is wall bouncing. Wall bouncing is super fundamental in Apex, and every player should know how to do it. Basically, what it looks like is this. Now, real quick, before we cover this one, I do want to mention my scroll wheel is set to jump. So if you see me scroll wheeling, that is why. I do recommend you set your jump to scroll wheel as well. But yeah, wall bouncing can be used to throw your enemy off, make you harder to hit, or reach places you can't reach normally. So yeah, you can pretty much practice this anywhere in the range. I like to use this wall just because it's nice and flat. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to run up to the wall, jump, look at the wall, and then jump off. It's super important that you actually look at the wall so you climb it. So I see a lot of new players attempting wall bounces like this, where they don't look at the wall and they just don't get the climb, so they can't wall bounce off of it. So yeah, you want to slide, jump, wall bounce, just like that. Pretty straightforward, but it will take some time to get used to. If you want to take it a step further and wall bounce off of small objects like this, you want to hold a directional key opposite to the way the wall is facing. That probably doesn't make much sense, but I'll show you what I mean. The wall is on the right side of me, so I'm going to hold down my A key. So it looks like this. So if you look at my keyboard overlay, you can see that I'm holding down A. That basically makes it impossible for me to get a mantle like this, which is why you usually can't wall bounce off small objects. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Just hold down A. And then it's the same going in this way. You just want to hold down D. So yeah, pretty much the easiest way to practice these are just in range. Just practice the wall bounces back to back like this. And just keep going back and forth. You have to be very careful with wall bounces in fights because you are pretty much a sitting duck in the air. You have to use them very situationally. You can't just wall bounce and expect them to not hit you at all. Yeah, wall bouncing, definitely a very fun tech to learn. By the way, if you have any questions or concerns about any of these movement techs in these videos, please do not feel afraid to leave them in the comments below. We'll go through them all and we'll answer them all. But yeah, that is wall bouncing. Now we're going to cover tap strafing. Tap strafing is pretty basic as well. I'm pretty sure most of the player base knows how to tap strafe at this point. Now, tap strafing is only for M and K, so my controller brethrens. I'm sorry, but you can't learn this one. So pretty much you want to bind your move forward to scroll wheel up. Now, once you do that, obviously you'll move forward when you scroll up, and you can utilize the Lurch engine in this game to redirect your momentum in fights and kind of just like get away quickly and stuff like that. So what a 90-degree tap strafe looks like is this. So as you can see, I quickly shift the momentum very sharply, and like I retain the momentum I got from the slide jump. Now, if I tried to do that without the tap strafe, I wouldn't be able to. So the inputs are pretty simple. You want to slide, jump, and as soon as you leave the ground, you want to let go of W, look in the direction you want to tap strafe, and just scroll wheel. If you can't seem to get the momentum shift, try turning your camera a little bit slower and inputting more scroll wheels. Once you master the 90-degree tap strafe, you can try the 180. Pretty much the same thing, you just want to input more scroll wheels. And then once you master that, you can combine it with other techs like wall bounces and stuff like that. That's tap strafing, another basic technique out of the way. We're going to be moving on to super gliding. Super gliding is very popular, popularized by Rect. Yeah, super gliding pretty much just looks like that. It's an instant boost of momentum and speed. Very useful in fights to literally just throw your enemy off. You can also combine it with tap strafe, which I'll cover later. So yeah, the timing on this is very difficult. It is going to depend on your frame rate as well. If you have a higher frame rate, it is going to be a little bit harder. My frame rate's sitting at 144, so it's not too difficult, but it still is relatively difficult. You want to mantle an object, you want to climb it, and you want to look for the exact frame where you reach the top of the climb. Now, there's multiple tricks to do this. I use an audio cue. So an audio cue plays when you climb an object, so listen for it. And pretty much at the end of that audio cue, you want to hit your crouch and space bar. So my crouch is on C, and my jump is on space. Pretty much you want to climb, listen for the audio cue, C space, just like that. Another way to do it is when you climb, your camera shakes a little bit like that. Your camera's like slightly shaking back and forth. As soon as you see the end of that camera shake, that's when you want to input your C in space. And keep in mind, these inputs have to be at the exact same time. Now we can take this a step further by adding a directional super glide by pressing A and D instead of W. So like this. And then obviously we can input tap strafes as well and go back and forth and kind of do that snake type movement. So yeah, that's pretty much super gliding. Definitely a very difficult technique to master if you're new to the game. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments. Yeah, that is pretty much super gliding. We're going to be covering B-hops. B-hops is a very essential movement technique. I feel like kind of one that gets overlooked a lot. So B-hopping looks like this. As you can see, I'm retaining most of my speed from that initial slide jump and carrying it forward into the next B-hop. Now this is pretty good for getting away. You can also combine them with tap strafes. But yeah, how you do it is you want to slide jump, and as soon as you're in the air, you want to let go of W, and you just want to hold down your crouch and just jump when you hit the ground. Very simple. Now, if you eventually just do those ones that I was doing in a straight line like this, you are going to eventually run out of speed. So the way you gain speed while B-hopping is pairing them with air strafing. Now, air strafing is the act of pressing a directional key and looking with your camera in that same direction to gain momentum. So like this. It's also how you turn with B-hops as well. Now, originally back in the day, you could heal while B-hopping, and that was really, really busted. But they had to patch that. So you can't do it while healing, but it is still useful for like kind of just like going in and out of cover. You're very hard to hit while B-hopping as well. Like you're going up and down, up and down. So yeah, definitely useful to learn and master. All right, next up on the list is quick sliding. This movement technique was popularized by Fade. I'm sure you know of him. Fade's the homie, very popular movement player. So pretty much what it looks like is this. So as you can see, it's almost an instant boost of speed, pretty much an instant slide. That's why it's called the quick slide. This is definitely one of the most useful movement techniques on the list. I pretty much use this all the time, every single time I play. So it's utilizing your weapon holstering to gain more speed and acceleration in order to slide jump quickly and efficiently. So as you can see, I'm peeking out, shooting, peeking back, holstering, and then going for a slide jump like that. Now that is a very good way to practice it, is just doing it slow. So just like that. And then once you get better at them, you can pretty much do them instantly like that. So these will become pretty much second nature to you when you learn them. And I use these all the time, especially just like in 1v1s like this. I just pull out my knife and just slide jump behind them or something. It's just an instant gain of speed boost that they just cannot predict. So yeah, I'll play one in slow motion right now for you to understand and learn the timings because it is very fast. So as you can see, I'm peeking, ducking in and out behind cover. Go behind cover, holster my weapons, walk forward a little bit, uncrouch, and then instantly slide jump. That is the fade slide or the quick slide. We're now going to be moving on to Lurch strafing. So Lurch strafing is a very umbrella term. There's a bunch of different Lurch strafes behind that name, Lurch strafing. Lurch strafing is not just one specific tech. It's, like I said, an umbrella term. But I'm just going to be teaching you the most basic form, which I think is the Raz strafe. So Raz is a professional Apex player for Crazy Raccoons. He's the GOAT. And he utilizes Lurch strafing in pro play. It's really fun to watch. Pretty much what it looks like is just what I'm doing right now. So it's a mid-air momentum shift in the middle of gunfights. This makes you insanely hard to hit and predict. So the inputs are, you want to hold down A to build momentum to the left. So then you want to jump, press W. Then after W, you want to press D followed by S. And you pretty much want to be tap strafing throughout this whole thing. Now what this does is it gives you a left to right momentum shift. Now Lurch strafing is going to take a lot to master, but this is the most basic form, I feel like. Just utilizing the Apex source engine to your advantage. And if you guys want a full in-depth Lurch strafe guide, be sure to let us know in the comments and I'll gladly do that for you guys. By the way, if you're liking the video so far, make sure to just drop a like. It helps us out a ton. Consider subscribing as well if you're enjoying the content. But yeah, onto the final movement technique, mantle jumps. Now, mantle jumps has a special place in my heart. This is like probably my favorite movement technique in the game. So yeah, pretty much what mantle jumping looks like is this. So it is a leap you get at the top of a zipline shaft, zipline building. I'll play some clips right now in the background of me using this. I have a ton of clips with these. Definitely my favorite movement technique. It's just so useful. The enemies cannot predict that you're going to just leap out of the zipline shaft over their heads. And what's cool about this technique is you can get very, very creative with it in different zipline buildings and zipline spots on the map. Now the timing for a mantle jump is very difficult and it does make it have a very high skill ceiling. But once you do learn the timing, it is pretty easy and you can pretty much get them consistently. I do recommend you download R5 Reloaded for this, the modded version of Apex, so you can practice this in the zipline building itself, because the timings do depend on which building you're in. And in the firing range, we don't have zipline shaft building, so I can't really show you the timing, but I can break it down for you and show you some clips in slow motion and stuff. Pretty much what a mantle jump is you're mantling the ledge, canceling it, and then doing a super jump. All very, very fast. So to mantle the ledge, you just want to jump off the zipline early, get into a mantle. To cancel it, you want to press S. Like that. Instantly cancels the mantle. So, and then after you press S, you want to look down, interact with the zipline, and then scroll wheel for jump. So mantle, cancel, super jump. Those are the three stages or mechanics of a mantle jump that you need to learn. So like I said, you can do this pretty much anywhere where there's a zip line with a little like ledge next to it. Another variation of the mantle jump is by looking up. By looking up, you do get more height, but in certain zipline buildings, if you look up and do it, you'll hit your head on the roof. That's why most people look down. And what I do a lot is I do the mid-floor mantle jumps, which look like these. And they provide for some really, really fun combos. And they are pretty easy to do as well. So you want to mantle, just like before, mantle, cancel, and then this time turn around and then super jump. So mantle, cancel, turn around, super jump, and then mantle jump at the end. Boom! Hopefully I did that justice. I'll play it in slow motion right now. So the timing of when you cancel the mantle is very important. As you can see, I cancel the mantle as soon as I see the ground of the top floor. So as soon as the ground comes into my vision, I instantly press S and go for the super jump. Alright, and that about wraps up this week's video. I appreciate it, boys. Much love. You've been amazing. If you want more of these tips and tricks videos, please be sure to let us know. All of our socials and stuff will be linked in the description, so be sure to check those out. Alright, boys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.